how would you value a business? And I'm going to give you an example just to make it easier.
Yeah.
So let's just say a business is doing £1 million turnover.
Yeah.
And it's the net profit is 30%, so 300 grand.
Yeah.
How would you value that?
So initially, obviously, there's more to it. The numbers tell a story. So
Yeah.
I would need to see 3 to 5 years management accounts. We call it it's a COVID stress test. So see how they dealt with in the COVID period. So an easy way to understand was they slightly exposed. Some people had commodity risks in that time.
Yeah.
So we start to look at how they performed over that time, and then we look at what they was doing before and what they did at the back of it. 2021 was like the year of demand, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people had the best year of their life in 2021. So we look at how they come out of this, and then they look at how consistent they are up today. So out of those 3 or 5 years managements, we start to look at the numbers, see if there's a consistency in the gross margin, see if it changed because there was supply chain issues as well, and then looking at what they're doing today. So we get an up-to-date P&L off the back of that. We look at their creditors, debtors.
Sorry, bro, what's P&L?
Like a profit and loss. So like an up-to-date to loss.
Yeah.
To see what
using technical language here.
Yeah,
People are going to understand this.
So up-to-date profit and loss to see how they're performing now.
Yeah.
And then some more recently, because management accounts are just historical data. By the time they get filed, it's like you're miles behind. You need to see what they're doing today. Then we look at their debtors and creditors, so who they owe money to and who owes the business money.
Got it.
And then look at the payment terms on both of those. So like I mentioned just now, some people get addicted to loan facilities. So let's say your payment terms for your customers may be net 60, but then your supplier terms are net 30. So you've got a 30-day deficit there where you also go collect the money.
Yep.
So there's a thing called a cash conversion cycle. So we start to work out what that cash conversion cycle looks like and how, if they're going to be deprived of cash for any days of the month, or how quick they can turn that money into actual cash, because revenue isn't profit and profit isn't cash. So we look at the free cash flow. So when we get all the financial data, we usually ask tons of questions based on, because like I said, the numbers tell a story.
Yeah.
But then we break this down and then we look at what the free cash flow, the actual cash in the company, because the most known valuation metric for within sort of M&A is EBITDA, right? Earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's fancy word for profit, adding a few things back. But EBITDA doesn't account for working capital or doesn't account for CapEx. So we need to work out what the free cash flow is, which also accounts for both of those things.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that 300,000 you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Let's say that 300,000 is now, the free cash flow could be, 250.
Yeah.
So let's say it's 250 free cash flow.
After all that, yeah.
Yeah. Then, based on that 250, we would give a multiple on that 250, depending on what the business was and what the average multiple for that business is in the sector. So let's say 3 times, we're at 750K.
Got it.
Now, once we value it at 750K, I would probably say, look, our offer is 750K plus whatever cash in bank is left in the company. That could be another 250.
Yeah.
So now we're at $1 million, but minus 3 months working capital, which we'd have to work out, because the working capital, as far as I'm concerned, is owned by the business.
Yeah.
And any surplus of the working capital is the owner's money that they can have on close.
Interesting.